Everyone's given one special thing, right? Everyone's blessed with one special thing. I want you to know I plan on being a star. A big, bright, shining star.
Eddie Adams from Torrance.
Yep.
Jack Horner, filmmaker. I make exotic pictures.
In 1977, a kid from nowhere.
Maybe think about your name.
My name, yeah.
Something a little pizzazz.
Dirk Diggler. Good name.
I like your name a lot.
Had a dream of getting somewhere.
Jack Horner has found something special in newcomer Dirk Diggler.
So let me just pop in this 8-track, and you just give a listen and tell me what you think, okay?
It was a time when disco was king.
These are the ones. These are great.
Yeah, those are really cool. Are they lizard?
No, they're Italian.
So you like my shoes?
They're pretty cool.
Sex was safe.
Woohoo!
Pleasure was a business.
Cut. Terrific. Nice work.
And business was booming.
And the award for Best Newcomer goes to Mr. Dirk Diggler.
Wow.
Goodbye, 1979. Hello, 1980. Are you ready?
But in 1980,
Come on, you puppies.
the party was over.
You are fired. What? You're fired. You're fired.
It's jealousy, it's deceitfulness, it's vindictiveness, but, I mean, God, what can you expect when you're on top?
Oh, wait. About this part.
New Line Cinema presents a portrait of 2 decades in the life of a business, the days of a dreamer, and the nights in between. Boogie Nights.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to your favorite film podcast, The Average Film Enjoyer. We are your hosts, Evan and Trey. It's going to be a good episode today. It's Friday, which means we're starting our Paul Thomas Anderson director deep dive. We're going to be reviewing Hard 8, which I still need to log.
I just logged in.
Yeah, and Boogie Nights. So it's going to be a good time. We're going to go over some of the very limited movie news that we have this week and talk about some of the stuff we've been enjoying recently. But first of all, Evan, how are you? How's your week been?
I'm tired. I've had a very busy week work-wise. I work 6 days this week, so it's been a lot. I'm tired. I'm almost at work tomorrow, and then I have 2 days off, so today is like my Thursday. Today was a good day at work. It was very busy. I worked with one of my coworkers who I absolutely adore. She's so sweet. This old Asian lady. What a heart of gold. She's very, very kind, and she's the one who helped teach me how to bake.
Hell yeah.
So she's very, like, never judgmental. It's always like, oh, try this or try this. Oh, I love working with her. So that was good. I had fun. We'll talk about Hard 8 later, but the watch party was fun, the mom show.
Yeah.
I'm super excited. I'm going to go see Love Lies Bleeding this weekend, I think, and we've been talking about Late Night with the Devil a lot, and oh my god, I cannot wait to watch this movie, and it's just the reviews dropped, and I'm just so excited for some more original weird-ass horror.
Yeah.
Very awesome. So, yeah, I'm good. Just
good
chilling.
Stuff.
Yeah, how about you?
Yeah.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm tired as well. I worked this week. Today's like my Sunday, so got a little bit of the Sunday scaries. I don't want to go to work, but it's fine, I guess. I like getting like the real checks, like in person. So I'm gonna pick up my paycheck tomorrow. Which is good because both of these are burnt out. So,
it's so sick. So, I work at a grocery store. It's a unionized grocery store, so I get some good benefits.
Yeah.
But the best part of my job is that when I work 8 hours, I get 3 breaks.
That's a massive W.
I get 2 paid 15-minute breaks and then an unpaid 30-minute break. So I get a break every 2 hours.
That's insane.
It's awesome. So it makes it very manageable.
Yeah. How mine works is I get a unpaid 30, and if I'm working grill, I'll work 8 to 4:30.
Right.
And I get my break at like 10 o'clock, like before we open, and I'll eat if like my parents are going to be home and they're going to be making dinner and stuff. But if not, I'll just have some chips and guac and then get my free meal after. And then I don't get another. I get back at like 10:30, and then I just work straight up till 4 o'clock.
Right. It's sick because I start work at 5 a.m. and
that sucks.
It doesn't suck. Let me tell you. Let me tell you why. It sucks because I have to go to sleep early, but I start at 5. I work for 2 hours, and then I take my breakfast break at 7 a.m. And then I'll chill, finish off my baking, and my baking kind of ends around 9:15. Take another 15-minute break. Come back, do all my cleaning, and then once I finish my cleaning, I do my 30-minute break and go for lunch. And then I come back and just kind of hang out, do some random tasks here and there for the last hour and a half. It's great.
Yeah, that's a vibe.
It's a tiring job. My feet hurt so bad, bro.
Me too.
Because, most of my baking shifts are 6 hours. I usually work 5 to 11.
Yeah.
But today, one of our assistant managers has this big foot injury. So she's taking a leave of absence, which means I'm working extra. Which is good money-wise, but oh my god, my feet are just dying.
I feel that, dude. I feel that.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Dude, my... Speaking of movie news, which I think we're about to transition into...
Yes.
I'm going through Twitter, and my entire Twitter page is Civil War reviews, so I would love to start there.
Yes. Sounds good.
I need this movie now. Build me a time machine so I can fast forward a month or whatever, whenever this movie comes out. I think it comes out in April. I am a Alex Garland defender. I like men. What do you mean by that? Oh, that movie's sick. I like that movie a lot. That's a strong 3.5 to a 4 for me. I've only seen it once.
Yeah.
Saw it in theaters. It was great in theaters. Ex Machina, amazing, thought-provoking.
Peak cinema.
Annihilation. Not a shout out to the Real Talk Discord because they dog it in there as a bad movie, and I hate it because that movie is peak. One of my favorite third acts ever.
Yeah. Unbelievable third act.
Scriptwriter for 28 Days Later, one of the best zombie movies of all time. Scriptwriter for Sunshine, one of the best sci-fi movies ever, one of the best space movies ever. He's so talented. I was sold from trailer number 1 with this movie, and seeing these reviews saying it's a masterpiece. IGN gave it a 9. I think the number scores are still kind of rolling in.
Yeah.
But I'm so excited to see this movie. I'm gonna buy tickets and I'm gonna watch this shit in IMAX the day it comes out.
Yeah, for sure.
I cannot wait. Do you have a next story?
Blumhouse. They're gonna return some of their movies, including Insidious, to theaters for halfway to Halloween Fest. And it's put on by AMC theaters, so hopefully one near you is doing that, so you can go check out some of those crappy horror movies.
You're talking to you or the audience?
Both, yes. Yes.
Did they, because we were talking about this just before the pod, but did they list any of the other movies, or just Insidious plus others?
Insidious plus others. Let me see because that's just the headline, but let me see if... Oh, shit! They're gonna do The Purge and The Invisible Man.
I saw The Invisible Man in theaters.
It's peak. Sorry, and 5 stars. And Split. and Ouija Origin of Evil.
Oh, yes, dude. I love Ouija Origin of Evil. It's so good.
It's so mid.
That's like a 4-star for me. It's so good. Invisible Man is like a 3.5, a low 3.5 for me. I like it. I love it.
I have that at a 5.
That's crazy.
I love it.
Yeah,
I just love anything. What's his face directed it? The guy from the first Saw movie. Lee Winnell, dude. My boy cooks.
He's a great director. That movie,
especially with horror
sequences. It's got some really great sequences.
Yeah, dude.
James Gunn has said, and I will totally be going to see a few of those. James Gunn has said Superman will be filmed entirely in IMAX.
Hell yeah. Massive W.
I saw Billy D. Williams if he would return on if he would return as Lando. Quote, "Pay me a lot of money and I'll sell my soul." End quote.
That's a massive W, and he's already done it too.
Yeah. One thing I want to shout out really quick, unless you have more to say about Lando. I'm not a Star Wars person, so
I don't. Star Wars is fine.
I just caught a quick review of Cuckoo, the new horror film starring Hunter Schafer and Dan Stevens, my goat. Hunter Schafer's my goat.
I haven't seen the trailer of this.
The trailer is really short. It's not a lot in there. It's just like, oh yeah, you're going to see a messed up horror movie. He says, caught Tillman Singer's new movie Cuckoo, starring Hunter Schafer and Dan Stevens in South by Southwest. Y'all are not ready. It's going to mess you up, and we'll be thinking about it long after you watch it. For the sickos out there that like the weird stuff, this is for you. So
hell yeah, that's me.
I'm sold. I love Hunter Schafer. I love Dan Stevens. The trailer's cool.
Yeah.
Dude, South by Southwest has been feeding me movies that I cannot wait to go see.
Yeah.
One thing I want to talk about, and I don't know, because you're a bit younger than me, but we have a live-action Teen Titans movie in the works.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Oh my god. I'm so.
You know who to call.
I'm so excited.
Oh my god.
So excited.
Give it to me.
Patty Jenkins said she's back on Star Wars movie Rogue Squadron.
Interesting.
Let's hope it's better than her last one. She did Wonder Woman 1984, and holy cow, that movie was awful. Holy cow.
I heard it's really bad.
Oh my god, it's so terrible. It's so terrible. Have you seen the trailer for The Crow?
No, I haven't watched it yet, but I want to, because I love the original.
What's the original?
The Crow. Have you not heard about this, Brandon Lee?
No, I didn't know it was like a remake.
Alright, let me set the scene for you, because it's a very tragic story. The original Crow is a very dark action thriller, and it stars Brandon Lee, who's Bruce Lee's
son. Yeah.
And it's very similar to the Alec Baldwin thing, where somebody shot him with a blank gun, but it killed him. So, on the set of The Crow, Bruce Lee's son died from a prop gun.
Yeah.
And it's infamously like a very cursed production. So it's kind of crazy they remade this, but I'm excited. I hope they do it justice. Like, I think you have no business remaking this movie unless you have something really special here. I love Bill Skarsgård. I haven't seen the trailer yet, but
well, it looks sick as hell.
Does it? Okay, so
yeah. Yeah, I'm very excited. It looks awesome.
It's a banger. So, yeah, we'll see. Very tragic story.
That's all. That's pretty much all I had. There isn't really too much this week that we didn't already talk about on Monday or Wednesday.
I just have one more.
Okay, yeah.
The Among Us animated series will feature voices of Elijah Wood, Ashley Johnson from The Last of Us, Yvette Nicole Brown, who's and then Randall Park.
I love Yvette Nicole Brown.
Shout out to Jim Halpert. Randall Park, the GOAT.
Or what's his character's name? Jimmy something in the MCU movies. He's like, oh god, what's his name? Randall Park. Because he's like the best character in the MCU. Jimmy Woo. Love him.
Love Randall Park. He's hilarious.
Oh, he's the best.
So, this is probably going to be absolute dog shit, or maybe it could be really funny. We'll see.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be bad, though, because, like, Among Us is... Oh, shit.
What?
Among Us is just... my laptop fell over. It's a Surface, so it has the stand.
Oh, you're fancy.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
Probably going to be shit, but who knows. That's all I had.
Yeah. Before we get into our reviews today, please let us know down in the comments. I tried something new last episode. I'm going to try to start putting like the trailers or monologues from from the movies we're reviewing at the beginning of the episode, while attempting to keep it clean. It's going to be hard with Boogie Nights, me and Evan were talking about. But I put the trailer for Room at the beginning of our last episode. So let me know your thoughts on that. If you enjoyed it, if I should keep doing it, or if you're like, Trey, that's awful, never do that again. Just let me know. I like it. I think it's cool. I think it sounds professional. But yeah, just let me know, please, in the comments. Yeah, should we get into it?
Yeah, let's talk about Hard 8. Because we just watched this like half an hour ago. We just finished it.
That we did. Yeah, so Hard 8. Again, we are starting our director deep dive with Paul Thomas Anderson.
Please watch us still, Cash. I'm sorry.
Does he not like PTA?
He hates PTA.
That's insane. What does he have Boogie Nights at?
He doesn't like Boogie Nights. I think he has a...
That's insane!
He thinks it's okay. He hates the Master. He desperately hates the Master. Him and Carl both hate PTA.
That's insane.
Big fuck! Sorry, that's a quote from the Master. You'll understand when we watch it.
Yeah, so Hard 8, this was PTA's, like his first motion picture.
Crazy.
Did he come out? I know you were looking.
I looked. He had a couple weird things. There was like a Boogie Nights prequel type short, and then
the Dirk Diggler story.
Yeah, and there was like cigarettes and something. I don't know if that's a short.
Cigarettes and coffee. That kind of seems like
the beginning of Hard 8.
Yeah, it really does. So Hard 8, he had come out with 2 shorts up at this point, and somehow bags an insane cast with Philip Baker Hall, who we will see in a lot of PTA movies going forward. Also, John C. Reilly, the GOAT himself.
Amazing.
He's amazing in everything. Gwyneth Paltrow, who,
Hoffman.
Before she got real weird, she's actually like an amazing actress.
Yeah, she's really good in this.
Yeah. And Philip Seymour Hoffman. And Sam L. Jackson.
Oh my god.
The guy who's apparently in every movie ever made. So, Hard 8, 1996, 3.6 overall in Letterboxd, an IMDb score
3.6.
IMDb score of 7.1 and a 78 on Metascore.
Damn. See, like 78 is a better for me.
Yeah.
Do you want to kick it off, or you want me to?
This is like his first movie, so we see a lot of stuff that we will eventually see in his other films, like long pan-out shots, which is something we will talk about once we are talking about Boogie Nights. We see excellent performances from John C. Reilly, Philip Baker Hall, Gwyneth Paltrow, as we already said. Fun fact about Philip Seymour Hoffman's role, that one scene at the craps table, he basically improvised that entire scene.
Oh, really? That's
but yeah, this is excellent. It's paced really well. The third act we were talking about kind of like loses it a little bit, loses the vibes we were loving in the first little bit.
Yeah, we'll get into it later, but I don't mean to cut you off.
No.
I just wanted to bring it back to the Boogie Nights thing really quick. The first two acts of this movie, especially the first act, is very much those vibes, hangout style, chilling in Vegas.
Very similar to the first hour and a half of Boogie Nights.
Very similar to the first hour and a half of Boogie
Yeah.
Nights. And it's I think it's even more prominent here, but it's similar back to Following, where you see the shell of the movies to come.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so interesting because PTA's style is very much chilling. His movies change a lot, and they're very different. And he has a lot of very serious films that don't really fit into this, but those hangout movies, Inherent Vice, Licorice Pizza, that kind of stuff, to come. It's very reminiscent of this vibe feel.
Mm-hmm.
And it's cool to see it all the way back in 1996, you said?
Yeah, 1996.
Yeah, it's crazy. The first even two acts, I would say, the first hour and a half, because it's not a super long movie. It's under 2 hours. It's about an hour 45. So I'd say the first hour 15, hour 20 is very chill, and you're watching John C. Reilly. I don't think we'll go into spoilers for the direct ending.
Yeah.
But we can talk about the film.
Little trivia for you.
Yeah.
This is interesting. When Jimmy, or Samuel Jackson's character, and Sidney, Philip Baker Hall's character, have their confrontation, Jimmy mentions that he knows Sidney's friends, Floyd Gondoli, and Jimmy Gator. And in the next movie, Boogie Nights, Philip Baker Hall plays Floyd Gondoli, and in Anderson's follow-up to Boogie Nights, Magnolia, Philip Baker Hall plays Jimmy Gator.
Funny. That's so funny. I love that. But yeah, the first bit of this movie, me and Trey were just chilling.
Yeah, it's a vibe, for sure.
The score is so entertaining to listen to. The visuals are great. You get the Vegas casinos, and you get, just John C. Reilly. I love the scenes when Philip Baker Hall's teaching him how to extort the casinos with the tokens and the money and the rate pass and all this. It's super entertaining, and it's just this is really fun. And it carries that vibe of being really entertaining for a while. Going into this, my expectations were pretty low, just from what I had heard from other people, and this is a fun movie. We'll talk about the third act later once we get past it a bit. I love getting ahead of myself, not Heather Graham. Let me be straight up right now. Austin Powers, one of my favorite movies of all time. Heather Graham, the smoke show on that, so seeing her as the smoke show in Boogie Nights, it's on my mind. It's on my mind, given her role in Boogie Nights. Anyway, Gwyneth Paltrow is great in this movie. Really, really great. She plays a convincing role of a, prostitute, and there's just this whole third act that kind of loses some focus, but yeah, what do you have to say about the first?
The vibes are really good. It reminds me of movies like 21 or Ocean's 11, really any of those casino-based movies, which is why...
It's so slept on.
Yeah, that movie's great. But that's kind of why I think my rating will be higher than yours. Really just because, this, casino-type movies... I love them. I love Rounders. I love.
That's what Matt Damon, right?
Matt Damon and John Malkovich and Edward Norton. Yeah, that's a great one. Really, really good. I just watched that recently for the first time. But yeah, I love the vibes of the first act a lot. And the soundtrack, it's very sleek and big 70s vibes.
It's not it's not as many licensed famous songs from Boogie Nights, but
yeah, for sure. And we get Sidney teaching John how to make money at a casino, and then we get like a flash forward like 3 years later. They're in Reno, and John and Sydney are still like best friends, and we get introduced to Jimmy's character and Clementine, played by Gwyneth Paltrow, and then there's a moment where it just kind of the tone very, and I mean the same thing happens in Boogie Nights, but just not as seamlessly.
I think that because and we'll talk about it, but like the tone switch in Boogie Nights still keeps the comedic bits of it. The third act of Boogie Nights is crazy, but it's still hilarious.
Yeah.
And it's still entertaining, but it's just very out of pocket.
Yeah, and it doesn't like it kind of loses itself in its third act, which I totally get. It's like his first feature length film, I think it still is really good. We get like Clementine had like taken hostage of a guy because she was like a hooker, and she had taken him hostage because he wouldn't pay her, and then they had to get out of town, and Clementine and John get what?
It's a good scene, but it feels very out of place, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. And then Samuel Jackson and Philip Baker Hall have a confrontation because, and this is where the spoilers are gonna come in, Samuel Jackson is like, "Hey man, I know you killed John's dad." And we're like, "Oh shit! Where did this come from?" Crazy plot twist. His mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's a very odd plot twist.
Yeah, it kind of comes out of nowhere, but
it's so weird because we don't know his dad, so it's like you don't have connection to the character that he supposedly killed.
And you're just like, "Oh, he did?"
It's like, oh, okay. Like, it's just a very awkward plot twist. Like, if it's like, oh, he killed his mom, maybe that's a bit more, because John has talked about his mom, but, like...
Yeah.
This plot twist is a bit out of left field, and it's just like, you go along with it. Did he write this movie?
Yeah, possibly. Let's see. Crew... Yeah, he did write this.
Okay.
And yeah, we kind of get like it's like the climax of the movie where everybody's trying to figure out their crap, and
Sidney Baker Hall. Sorry, go ahead.
Philip Baker Hall. Come on, Evan.
Damn it.
Hey, remember, it's the guy from Rush Hour 3. Okay.
It's the guy from Rush Hour 3.
Yeah. No, and then he ends up. Samuel Jackson is like, "Give me all your money or I'll tell him." And then Philip Baker Hall basically goes and shoots him at his house.
The build-up is he says, "I don't have any money here," and it's in the bank. And he says, "I've done everything I can do for John," which is an interesting thing because he shows a lot of care for John, and having killed his father, he frequently says, like... Not throughout the movie, but in this third act, he's like, "I'm the closest thing he has to a father. I love him like a son, this and that." But then he says in this moment where he's like pleading for his life almost, where he's like, "I've done everything I can," and it's like, "I won't give you..." He's like, "I don't care about John's life, but I'll give you all the money I have to protect my own life."
Yeah.
He's like, "I wouldn't give my life for John's, but I'd give you the money I have." So he's like, "Oh, let's go to the bank." And then it's like, "Oh, well, wait. I lied to you. I have the money here," and he ends up giving him the cash, and then it kind of resolves for a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, this confrontation in the house after an extremely entertaining scene. Holy shit! Of Samuel Jackson going crazy in the casino. Oh, what a fun scene.
Yeah.
And
then
at the same time we've got John and Clementine driving across the country after the hostage situation.
Yeah, they were in Dude, it was so funny when he was like, "You guys need to go to Niagara Falls. You need to get out of town." and John is just like, "But I've already been there." Like, dude, you just took someone hostage. Yeah. You need to leave town. You don't really have a choice of where you go. God, but I've already been there. That was just so funny.
Yeah,
that was so funny.
He's got really great comedic timing in this. I think the more I watch these Paul Thomas Anderson movies, because I've seen most of his movies, but like a lot past the original don't have him in it. He's so great as a young actor in this, and I'm kind of surprised he didn't pursue more dramatic roles like a lot of the other actors in these Paul Thomas Anderson films, because he's amazing as a dramatic actor.
Yeah,
he's convincing and he's comedic and he fits the tone well. So, yeah. And then we get to the ending. I know I said we weren't going to go into spoilers, but like...
Dude, we go into spoilers. That's what we do. This movie has been out for almost 20 years, so people can suck it up. Holy cow! Time flies,
It came out the year my brother was born, and he's 27.
Oh, okay. Okay.
The whole scenes with the hostage and then John C. Reilly and Clementine going across country and, Philip Baker Hall giving them money feel very out of place.
Yeah.
In this film. It's a big tonal switch and it's interesting. And then you get this last 15 minutes where Philip Baker Hall just ices this guy. And I will say it's in line with the rest of the third act, but not in line with the rest of the movie. But my God, it's an entertaining ass scene. He's a beast in this movie, and I really love the final shot of him in the diner, and he just casually covers his sleeve. Oh, I really love that.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
What's your opinion with the whole
ending? I don't know. I don't know. There's not really. It ends the way it ends. I mean, it. That was the most bullshit thing I've ever said. I don't know. It's just that I enjoyed it, but I felt like Paul Thomas Anderson played it a little safe.
Yeah, I wish.
It's how I feel about the Shawshank ending.
I wish he had a bit more conclusion to John's ending. Because the last scene he's in, he's like, "Oh, I'll call you from Niagara Falls or whatever."
Yeah. Wait. No. The last scene with John and Sydney is like they're like, "Hey, man, I love you," and all that stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like super emotional, and you're like, "Oh, sick." But yeah, I don't know. I enjoyed that.
It's very. It's kind of weird because John and Clementine's relationship is very... It's forced in this movie. They drop out of nowhere that they're married and she's a prostitute. And then it's after that, you don't get any time with them together, And I think this movie could have benefited from being longer. I understand him not... Most of his movies are long as shit. They're usually pushing 2.5 hours. I think this could have benefited from that because if you flesh out this last half hour or last act of the movie, I think you can get some more satisfying conclusions than this insanely abrupt tonal switch. Still, I know I'm dogging on it. I really enjoyed this movie. This is a very strong 4-star for me. I would watch this again. The vibes are immaculate. The performances are great. It's funny. It's well acted. I just think, the tonal switches really jarring.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I really liked it. I'm glad I watched it.
It was excellent. Would highly recommend this one.
Yeah.
Not streaming anywhere in America, but
it's on Prime for me, or Stars or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, it must be on Stars because I have Prime, and I don't think there's too much difference.
I think it's on Stars.
Oh, I don't have that. I don't come from old money like you do, Evan.
It's like $3 extra a month, and there's so many good movies on there.
Again, I don't come from old money, dude.
Also, I don't pay for it, so I don't care. I'm not gonna lie, I added this to the Prime subscription, hoping that my mom wouldn't notice, and she did not notice.
That's a massive W. We love it.
So we get stars, and we're feasting. Yeah. Watch this movie. It's definitely worth watching.
Yes.
Like, Paul Thomas Anderson has a lot of bangers, and they're all worth watching, but don't sleep on this movie. It's definitely worth it.
It totally is. For sure. You want to get into our next... Oh, some more trivia for you. Let's see. I had a few here. I had one. Oh, God, I knew it! So, the opening theme music was the same music used in Boogie Nights when Dirk gets jumped in the parking lot. That's the only other one I have. Yeah.
Heck yeah. Let's talk about Boogie Nights, because
Boogie Peak?
We're gonna do the same thing we did for Christopher Nolan, where we rank these movies as we watch them.
Yeah.
I don't have a definitive Paul Thomas Anderson ranking, because I've... Little lore drop. Okay, The Master, Paul Thomas Anderson's masterpiece, is what got me into movies. It made me realize what cinematography can be, what acting can be, what scores can be, because it's scored by the GOAT, Johnny Greenwood from Radiohead.
Yeah, that's No Country Old Men for me. That's what got me into cinema.
So I have a bias towards that movie. I adore Magnolia. It's probably my number one. But I'm gonna go in. I'm not gonna make a list like Christopher Nolan, where I already had a set list.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna build this list as I watch it.
Yeah.
And naturally, Boogie Nights is on top because it's fucking amazing.
Yeah. So here, before we get into it, I'm gonna say this: if you're a person who likes it when we do clean and doesn't like it when we get all vulgar, turn this off now. We will kind of have to get vulgar to quote some of our favorite lines. Because this is a movie about a porn star. This is a movie about a porn
in the driveway with an ass in her cock.
Yeah, dude. So turn it off now if that's not the kind of thing you want to hear. Boogie Nights, the masterpiece. This film.
This the second movie. That's all I need to say.
Yeah.
It's crazy. This movie is so good.
Yeah, so Boogie Nights, released in 1997, 1 year after the release of Hard 8.
Crazy.
Obviously directed by Paul Thomas Anderson. What am I talking about?
Did he wrote this one as well, too, right?
I believe he did. Yes. It has a 4.2 overall on Letterboxd.
That's a
set in 1997, back when sex was safe, pleasure was a business, and business was booming. Idealistic porn producer Jack Horner aspires to elevate his craft to an art form. Horner discovers Eddie Adams, a hot young talent working as a busboy in a nightclub, and welcomes him to the extended family of movie makers, misfits, and hangers-on that are always around. Adams' rise from nobody to a celebrity adult entertainer is meteoric, and soon the whole world seems to know his porn alter ego, Dirk Diggler. Now, when disco and drugs are in vogue, fashion is in flux, and the party never seems to stop, Adams' dreams of turning sex into stardom are about to collide with cold, hard reality. What a synopsis, first of all. Holy cow. If that doesn't want to make you watch this movie right now, I don't know what will.
Let me set the scene for our GOAT, Philip Baker Hall. Maybe my favorite quote from the movie. From Floyd Gondolie. I'm not a complicated man. I like cinema. In particular, I like to see people fucking on film. But I don't want to win an Oscar. I don't want to reinvent the wheel. I like simple pleasures. I like butter in my ass and lollipops in my mouth. This was the first watch for me, and oh my god, I was dying laughing.
Yeah.
This movie is so funny.
Yeah, so, biggest thing here, this is his second movie. But somehow, he pulls one of the most stacked casts of all time. We got Mark Wahlberg in the lead, giving easily his best performance.
Yeah.
Easily. Julianne Moore, giving an amazing performance. Burt Reynolds just cooking here. Don Cheadle, who is so funny in this.
I did not know Don Cheadle was in this, and I was like, oh my god, Don Cheadle jump scare.
John C. Reilly playing debatably the best character in this movie, Reed Rothschild. William H. Macy, Heather Graham, Nicole R.E. Parker.
You're forgetting the GOAT, Trey. Philip Seymour
I was
Hoffman.
saving him for last, Evan.
Damn it, sorry.
God!
You got to a no-name. and I thought you
Philip Seymour Hoffman. Just ruined it, Evan. Luis Guzman, who is a delight
he's
here.
So good at this.
So good.
I love him.
And an appearance from Alfred Molina.
Wait, when?
Do you remember when they go to the guy's house at the end and
Yeah. Wait, is that him?
that's Alfred Molina.
Okay, I need
Who,
to.
first of all, first thing I want to say about this movie, I am Alfred Molina whenever Sister Christian comes on. That song fucks.
That's
It
great.
is so good. And him doing the motorin'. It's just insane.
That's crazy. I need to say something really quick.
Yeah.
Family Guy did a scene in one of their episodes that is the ending of this movie, and I did not realize that it was from the ending of this movie. So, in Family Guy, Stewie and Brian go, and it's they're John C. Reilly and Mark Wahlberg, and Dr. Hartman is Alfred Molina, and it's the exact same scene, same song, same everything. I was losing my shit. I thought it was so funny.
You're like, why is The Simpsons out here or why is Boogie Nights copying The Simpsons?
Family Guy.
Oh, whatever. It's not the same thing.
They walk into the house and he's standing there in the robe with the underwear and the song is playing and I was like, oh my god, I've seen this before. I was laughing so hard.
It's such a good scene. Todd,
yeah.
what are you doing, man? That's my spot-on Mark Wahlberg impression. Tell your mother hi for me. That was awful. We're gonna possibly cut that out.
Our Boogie Nights discussion is not going to be very focused.
It is not. We're just going to talk about how peak this movie is. To quote the Film Scoop fellas, who I was listening to right before this while I was doing chores, on their Dune 2 episode, Cash mentioned that whenever they do talk about, like, a really amazing movie, they just talk about how good it is and no, like, fluent thoughts. So that's how this is going to be. We're just going to talk about how amazing Boogie Nights is. So, Evan, why is this movie amazing for you?
Okay, I got home from work. I knew I needed to watch Boogie Nights because I've been a bad podcast host and I've been not watching all the movies. I was like, I need to watch Boogie Nights. All I'm in the mood for is Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice Ultimate Edition.
Should we watch party that after this?
We might have to.
Dude, what? Can I pause you really quick? I'm so sorry, Evan, to cut you off. First of all, for context, yesterday I did not have a very good day. I was not feeling it, feeling a little down in the dumps. Me and Evan talked about it. My depression was kind of kicking me in the ass yesterday. Today has been an excellent day. I woke up feeling good. It's like 70 degrees outside right now. And I took my dogs on a walk in a t-shirt and shorts. I found a bag of unopened Flamin' Hot Cheetos that I totally forgot about.
Insane.
And now, and I'm on an insane win streak in Rainbow Six, and now me and Ever are gonna watch Batman vs Superman?
I need to gaslight my girlfriend into watching it.
Ultimate Edition?
The Ultimate Edition. So
With the best Batman score?
if not tonight, try tomorrow, because girlfriend is not. She's not home tomorrow, so.
Okay.
Not tonight, tomorrow.
No, you should get Beth to watch it with us.
I will try.
Be like, say, Trey really wants to watch this tonight, and he really wants to watch it with us.
Yeah.
And he said, guilt tripper. Just be like, he said he'll be really sad if we don't watch it.
Yeah, I will.
It's peak.
Anyway, I really wanted to watch Batman vs Superman. I started this movie, 15 minutes in, I was like, what did I want to watch before? My brain was locked in on this movie in an insane way. It has the vibes. I do not like hangout movies infamously. I don't think Dazed and Confused is that good.
It's not, but it's just fun.
I find that hangout movies lack character depth, and that's my issue. This movie does not have that issue. Oh my god, every character is fleshed out. Every single one. This movie is hysterical. It is entertaining. It's a long movie. It's pushing 2 hours, 40 minutes.
Yeah.
It blows by.
Yeah.
I was watching it, and Trey called me. We were talking about The Leftovers or something, and I was like, oh, I'm watching Boogie Nights, and he's like, how much do you have left? And I was like, I have no clue, and I hit pause, play, to see it. There's like 20 minutes left, and I was like, I just started this movie. What the fuck? Like,
yeah.
The pacing is amazing for how, and that was a big thing for me, for not watching it. I got kind of intimidated by the runtime, just because I was like, oh, I need to sit down for 2 hours, 40 minutes and lock in. Oh my god. Like, this movie hooks you so fast, it's insane. You'll forget that you're watching a movie.
Yeah.
Every character is hysterical. Heather Graham is maybe one of the hottest people on the entire planet. Shout out to Austin Powers for like initiating that crush for me, and shout out to Boogie Nights for fulfilling that crush for me and getting to see your boobies.
We don't objectify women, but we also don't mind when a pair of boobies show up on screen.
You know, there's that scene where Dirk Diggler, Mark Wahlberg, he's chilling on the couch and Roller Girl. I love that they never give her real name. It's just Roller Girl. She's like, are we gonna fuck? He's like, yeah. And she gets buck naked, and he's like, aren't you gonna take your skates off? She goes, I never take my skates off. And
let's talk about how stanky those skates and her feet probably are.
I never take my skates off. Oh my god.
And you never should because of how long you've had them on.
But she's great in this movie. She's like this flirty, bubbly girl, really entertaining. Burt Reynolds is hilarious, and like, he has so much charisma in this movie as Jack. Oh my god.
He always has so much charisma. It's Burt Reynolds.
Mark Wahlberg is very likable in this movie until he's not. We'll talk about that later when we get into the third act. This is just an awesome movie. It's super fun to watch. It's got conflict. It's depressing at times, but this is a fun movie to watch. And yeah, those are my extended initial thoughts. Why don't you?
Yeah, I don't think... What?
This wasn't your first watch, right?
No, this was my fourth.
Oh, shit.
I love this movie. This is one of my faves. I think it's in my top 20 of all time. I find it has very high rewatchability. But I don't think this movie has a third act. I think this movie has a first and a second act. Which we'll talk about, like, what the turning point is and the very big differences between both of the acts. I mean, this movie's excellent. It's just, the vibes are immaculate. It's hilarious. You shouted out one of my favorite lines in cinema earlier. My wife... So, let me set the scene for y'all. William H. Macy, his wife in this movie is, like, the worst. Like, she's constantly cheating on him and screwing other dudes. What?
Like, you see him getting cheated on, like, 3 times before this scene too, in public, in front of so many people.
Yeah, and like there's this one really funny scene where he walks into his bedroom and his wife is screwing another dude, and he's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And she goes, "What the fuck are you doing?" And they're like, "Can you get out, please, so we can finish?" I mean, God, I feel so bad for his character. But they're at this party at Burt Reynolds' house, and he's like walking around trying to figure out stuff for the movie shoot, and he comes down to the driveway and there's a big crowd of people, and he looks down and they're all just watching some dude screw his wife. And so he's flustered, he's frustrated, he walks up the driveway and is having this really frustrating conversation with another guy who's working on the movie. Like, he's already heated. And so the line was supposed to be, "My wife is in the driveway with a fucking cock in her ass." But William H. Macy messed it up. And so he goes, "My wife is in the driveway with a fucking ass in her cock." And Paul Thomas Anderson liked it because it showed like how flustered he was even more. So they kept it in. Best line in the movie. Yeah, this movie's peak. Luis Guzman is unbelievably funny in this movie. Love him. That's not a Q! It was supposed to be a G! Is just so funny. It gets me every time.
One of the funniest... Well, not funniest, but like the "let's go" scene. And again, if you're sensitive to topics, leave, because we'll talk about a sex scene in this movie. It's one of the first ones, and it's like him with Julianne Moore, and they're just going at it, and she's like, "Come in me, just come in me," and he's like, "Are you sure?" And she's like, "Yeah, I want it. I'm fixed." And so he finishes inside of her, and William H. Macy's like, "We missed the cum shot. Like, should we just edit some stock footage into this porno?" And Burt Reynolds is like, "Nah, it won't be organic." And Mark Wahlberg just goes, "I could do it again."
Yeah, bro's a unit.
He's a unit, and he's like, "Do you want a close-up? Like, I can go again." And from then, the montage starts of him being like a god-tier porn actor. I just think that is so funny.
Yeah.
No, down at 20 minutes, and Mark Wahlberg's just like, "Do you want again right now?" Oh my god, I was laughing my ass off at that scene.
Yeah.
I adore when him and John C. Reilly create the action movie star. Like,
oh,
I can't remember the 2 names.
It's Burt something and then Chest Rockwell.
Yeah. And oh my god, they're so funny. They're like kicking ass on screen and doing parkour and like nunchucks. It's so funny. The montage of them going crazy on porn in the second act is hilarious.
Yeah.
And the porn awards, oh my god, that part is hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, this is genuinely one of the funnier movies I've ever seen.
Yeah, and the John C. Reilly's character, he develops so much because we start out and he's like this guy who's trying to like one-up Dirk, and they like show up and John C. Reilly is like, he's like talking about the gym, and it's like Glenn's or something, like Glenn's gym, and he's like, "You ever been down there?" "Oh wait, no you haven't, I would have seen you there, I'm there every day." And then he's like, "What do you squat?" And he's like, "Oh, 2. And he's like, "Oh, that's nice. I squat 350. Just like trying so hard.
He's so scrawny in this movie too. It's like, "How much do you bench?" And I don't remember the exact number, but he outbeats him again. And Mark Wahlberg is fucking shredded in this movie.
Yeah, dude. And he's not like buff. Like, he's not like big. He's just like cut, dude.
He's super cut. And he's like, "Do you want a drink? You want a margarita?" So like they're sitting at this like beach stand, and he's like, "Oh yeah." I love that line you said. It's like, "What do you squat?" And you can hear the blender going in the background too. It's like, "Oh yeah, 2."
And it's funny when he shuts him up with the blender, like Mark Wahlberg will start talking and he turns on the blender and it's like Mark Wahlberg is saying something and it's just like Did I just blast out your ears?
Yes.
Oh, my apologies.
Dude, it's so funny that John C. Reilly goes 350 when like they're the same height and Mark Wahlberg is noticeably stronger than him. Naturally, I squat 150 more pounds than you. Oh my god. Their dynamic at the start when they were trying to one up each other is hysterical, and then
they become like best friends.
We need to talk about them in the recording studio because holy shit,
that is one of
so
the.
Funny.
I just realized why my mic was so loud. I had the gain all the way turned up. It must have been that way for the last few episodes.
It's much better now.
Yeah?
I don't want to say anything.
You should have told me! Has it been just like, yeah, and then this happened?
Yes.
Oh, God, you should have told me! God damn it, Evan. But yeah, that scene in the recording studio... Oh my god!
This scene follows him blowing up at Burt Reynolds and being like, I can do everything, I'm fucking better, and he's been taking drugs heavily prior to this, so he can't get a boner, and he's like in the mirror and he's like, I'm Dirk Diggler, come on man, let me get hard, and then he gets a boner and he's like, we need to go right now, and they're like, give us 20 minutes, he's like, it's right now, and then there's a huge fight and Burt Reynolds fires him.
Yeah.
And then 5 minutes later, it's like, oh, yep, Dirk Diggler's not a porn star anymore. He's in the recording studio singing like shit.
God, he sounds so terrible in this movie.
And it's funny because Marky Mark,
he's a good singer.
He's got one of the most famous songs of all time, "Good Vibrations." It's but yeah, that scene is hysterical. And then I love the scene maybe half an hour later when John C. Reilly's playing the guitar. And they're jamming together. Oh my god, it's so funny. They're like, we're gonna make it.
Yeah, John C. Reilly is the ultimate hype man in this movie.
Again, we're bouncing around, but I love the scene when they're talking to the record label dude, and it's like, well, we need this much money, and they're like, well, if you just give us the record deal, we could get you the money. We need the money for the record deal so we can make money, and they're so desperate. Oh my god, it's so funny, dude.
Yeah.
This movie, I want to watch it again, dude. I'm talking about it, I just want to watch it again because it's so entertaining.
Here's an idea. You call out of work, we do a Boogie Nights Batman versus Superman double feature.
Oh my god, that's crazy.
I don't think my brain could handle that much peak.
Dude, I'm off work on Sunday. It might be the play. Maybe we do Batman versus Superman on Saturday night and then Boogie Nights Sunday morning. Holy shit.
Well, dude, I work Sunday. I told you that.
Ah, shit. Well, my girlfriend's never seen Boogie Nights. I don't want to show it to her.
Do it. Yeah, so we get a very much similar to Hard 8. We get a big turn in tone in this film, but it feels much more seamless. But there's one scene that it's the movie flips, and it's New Year's Eve of 1979. So they're going into the 80s. And in this scene, we see so much start of characters' downfalls. Yeah. We see Amber and how much her cocaine problem has gone downhill. We see her introduce Dirk to cocaine, and that ends up being his downfall. And then William H. Macy comes in.
Before that, we get. Actually, yeah, no. Before that, we get Philip Seymour Hoffman who tries to kiss him.
Oh, dude, that scene is genuinely so sad.
It's so sad because it's Mark Wahlberg shuts him down, but then it's he cares about Philip Seymour Hoffman. He's like, do you just want to go hang out back inside? It's like, I'll just go back inside and hang out. And then it cuts to Philip Seymour Hoffman sobbing in the car. It's so sad.
Yeah.
And he is amazing in this movie. He's hilarious. Yeah. And then puts on this heartbreaking scene. And then it cuts to William H. Macy's big scene. Which I'll let you do.
So he walks into the party and he's looking for his wife, and yet again he walks into his wife cheating on him, and he just goes just blank face, walks out to his car, grabs a gun, and all the people are counting down. It's almost midnight. Walks into that room, shoots the guy, shoots his wife, and then shoots himself. And it's just insane. You're just oh crap.
It's so crazy because he walks into that room and kills his wife and the guy, and then he walks out and he stands there for a second, and then he smiles and then just kills himself.
Yeah. And then after that, everybody starts going downhill. Dirk gets out of control with his drug problem.
There's a time jump after that scene, isn't there?
Yeah, like 2 years.
Yeah.
Or I think it might be like 6 months or a year.
Yeah.
I don't think it's as much as 2 years. But he gets everybody's getting out of control with their drug problems. Jack is fighting the industry on because everything is moving to like videotaped.
Yeah, dude, his setup feels like something out of Babylon.
Yeah, and so like there's a lot of change going on and nobody's receiving it well. And then like half an hour before the movie ends, we get like 3 different scenes, and it's very similar to that of Magnolia, where you have all these people on different paths, and then they all kind of like affect each other without knowing they're affecting each other. So you get this scene where Dirk is basically trying to make some cash. So this guy picks him up and he's like, I want you to jack off. And while I watch, and you're just like, oh man, Dirk, you've really gone downhill, man. So basically Dirk has just become a male prostitute so he can pay for drugs.
And I almost think that because the first time that Jack and Dirk meet, well, Eddie, whatever, meet, Burt Reynolds is like asking him these questions, and Mark Wahlberg's like, it's like $10 to see it, or like, and $20 to watch me do it. So I think it kind of echoes back to that original scene too.
Yeah. And then we figure out the guy was really setting him up. All his buddies show up and they beat the crap out of Dirk. And then we get this scene with Roller Girl and Jack where they're doing like this experiment where they're in a limo and they're trying to pick up a guy to screw.
It's like Fake Taxi.
What is Fake Taxi? I have no idea what that is. We don't really need to go into it, I don't think, but I just want to make it clear, I don't know what that is. What are you talking about, Evan?
Sorry.
And they pick up this guy, and he's just like, he's an asshole, and they kick him out of the limo. And he yells,
having sex with Heather Graham, and it's like, oh, the angle is terrible, and then it's like rough, and they're like, yeah, fuck this, let's call it. And he goes psycho.
Yeah, and then Jack jumps out of the car and starts beating him up, and then Roller Girl essentially just kills him because she walks up to him and just starts stomping him on the face with one of her roller skates.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Where they have both obviously gone downhill, for sure. Yeah. And then we get a third scene with Don Cheadle's character, Buck.
Insane. That's
unbelievable. Bro married that one porn star chick. They're living a happy life now. They're having a kid, all that good stuff, and they're picking up donuts. I mean, at this point, it looks like Buck has ended up the best. Like, he looks genuinely happy.
That whole, like, I mean, we're omitting like a big bit where he goes to get the loan for his business because he wants to start his own stereo store. Yeah. And they're like, we can't be involved with the pornographer, and it's super sad. And that's contrasted with, or not even contrasted, it's the same shit with Julianne Moore. It was so funny. Well, not funny because it's a really sad scene, but she meets with this guy and a lawyer, and I legit thought it was a porn scene. I thought that she was filming porn, and then it's like, you can't see your son because you're a porn star, and I was like, oh fuck, this is not good. I felt so bad, dude. I was like, oh my god, this is such a sad scene, and I totally thought that it was like the setup to a porno.
Yeah.
And those two scenes are so heartbreaking. Like, Julianne Moore is straight distraught. Don Cheadle is really heartbroken because he's like, I've moved on. Like, that's not my life anymore. I just want to be a stereo store owner. And you get that amazing scene in the beginning. It's so entertaining when he's trying to sell that one dude the stereo. And he puts
on the country. You feel that bass? Get into it.
It's so funny. He puts on this like hick ass music, and his boss is like, "Nobody's gonna buy that country music." But you can tell this is like a super passionate dream for him, and so, like you said, you get the downfall of so many characters, and then into this Don Cheadle scene, which is bonkers. And I'll let you go through
first of all, I want to say that this sequence is preceded by the trucks driving out of the parking lot after beating up Dirk Diggler, and then in that same shot, the limo that has Jack and Roller Girl in it drives past where Dirk is basically in the parking lot, like, bleeding. And then they drive past Buck, who turns in to go to the donut store right across the street. And he walks in, and he's just ordering a dozen donuts. Having a good day.
Yeah,
getting some donuts.
Like, get this, get that. You know, ooh, I want this, I want that. It's super entertaining.
Yeah, and then this guy walks in, and basically is holding up the place. And you get these shots of this guy sitting in this booth next to the window, and you can tell, just like super calm, and you can tell like he's planning something. And Don Cheadle's just like, what is happening?
And then dude in the booth slowly slips a gun out.
He slips a gun out. He shoots the burglar, or the robber.
Yeah.
The robber's gun goes off and shoots the guy from the booth. And then that guy's gun goes off and shoots the attendant in the head. And all of that guy's brains are on Don Cheadle's face. And he's just in a white suit, just standing there not knowing what to do. And what does he do? He takes the money and leaves. What a move.
It is a crazy scene. My jaw was on the floor. I knew about the scene where William H. Macy kills himself, and I thought that was the end of this movie, so I was like, shit, I don't really want to watch this because I know how it ends. I was dumbfounded at this Don Cheadle scene. Oh my god, it is crazy. It's such a comical, like, goofy, like, oh my god, I can't believe that just happened, but it's also, like, insanely tragic, and Don Cheadle is so shook by it. But you can't help but laugh at it, like, shoots the robber shoots him, and he just blows this dude's head off. Like, it's insane. The third act of this movie is bonkers, and we haven't even gotten to the drug lord's house yet, which is an insane sequence. This is the last 20 minutes of this movie. And again, I had seen this shit in Family Guy before, but like, if you want to keep going, you can. Yeah,
they're basically Todd, who plays Todd, because I feel like I recognized him. Thomas Jane.
Oh yeah, he played Punisher in the Punisher movies.
Oh, I didn't know that. But yeah, Thomas Jane plays Todd, and so basically Todd, Reed, John C. Reilly's character, and Dirk are like, we need some money, so we're gonna basically try to sell this guy half a key of Coke, and they're like, we're just gonna put baking powder in it.
Yeah, baking powder. Right.
Yeah, and they're like, okay, let's do it. And so they show up to his house. First of all, what a shot. All three of them squeezed into the Corvette. So funny. Reed is just in the middle, just like waiting to get out. And so they walk in. We see Alfred Molina is just vibing, probably just insanely stoned.
On Cloud 9, yeah. He is on another
He's
level.
having a good time. You got Sister Christian by what's Night Ranger playing in the background, banger song.
There's bodyguards with guns,
and then there's just a dude in the corner setting off firecrackers for some reason. Just
Wait,
like,
is that what it was?
Yeah, he was just setting off.
Oh man!
No, he was just sitting there setting off firecrackers one by one, and. So the guy's like, okay, I'll buy your cocaine, and they have the money, and they're like, Todd, let's get out of here, man. But Todd is like sitting there, and so Dirk and Reed like get up, and they're like, all right, we're gonna get out of here. But Todd is like, I want one more thing, and he's like, in the safe, under your bed. I want to pull up the dialogue from this scene. Give me a sec. Stall while I do this.
Yeah, the build up to this scene is so funny too, because you get this scene, Trey mentioned it earlier, but like Alfred Molina is talking to them and he goes, wait a second, I love this part. And the song is climaxed and he goes, and he's like air drumming. It's such an... The third act of this movie is so comically crazy. Like the scene when Dirk gets jumped and Roller Girl is like assaulted pretty much are terrible. And then you get absolute violent chaos. It is insane. It's so wild, and Alpha Merlina's character is so high, and you're just dying. Like, it's so funny. Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm looking for it right now. Oh, dude, why is this so hard to find? Oh my god, dude. Gotta scroll all the way down?
I'm gonna read a few quotes while you stall. There's a scene, the scene where Dirk confronts Jack after, there's this newbie in the business that's kind of trying to take over, and Dirk loses it, and he goes, "You're not the boss of me, Jack. You're not the king of Dirk. I'm the boss of me. I'm the king of me. I'm Dirk Diggler. I'm the star. It's my big dick, and I say when we roll." Oh my god, it's so funny.
Oh, it must have been improvised because it's not in the script.
Oh, really? Yeah, I'm looking through the IMDb quotes, and one of the scenes when Bill's wife, like William H. Macy, is cheating on him, Bill goes, "What the fuck are you doing?" And she says, "Go away, Bill. You're embarrassing me." That's crazy.
Yeah. No, but what I was trying to find is Todd is like in the fucking master bedroom under the fucking bed in the goddamn fucking, just like a 12-year-old who has just learned how to curse. It is so funny. Yeah, that whole sequence is just insane. And then that
insane shootout.
Yeah. And then we kind of get like the ultimate like ending, kind of a happy ending, I guess. I don't really know how to feel about it. I do like the ending, though. I think it ends well. But Dirk basically goes back to Jack's house and is like, "I need help.
Yeah.
Can you help me?" And they basically, like, it's such an because both of these people are, like, not great people. But it's such an unbelievably sweet and wholesome moment.
Yeah, because Jack takes him back and is like very...
Because it's obvious that Jack looks at Dirk like a son.
Yeah, and we didn't talk about it, but there's a really big conflict in the first act where Eddie comes home and his mom freaks out on him and starts tearing all the posters off his wall and freaks out and is like, "You're never going to be anything, you're a fucking loser." And it's like...
I mean, I would leave too.
It's a very traumatic scene, and Mark Wahlberg's like, you don't know me, like, you don't know what I can be. And it's after he's met with Jack, so he already has this confidence of, like, I can do this. So he doesn't have any parental figures except Jack, and Jack just, like, brings him back in there.
Mm-hmm. Which you love to see. And Amber, which...
Oh, yeah.
The fact... Their relationship always weirds me out because she's like, "I love Dirk like a son," and then they're screwing on camera. Yeah. Always weird. But then you get to see like Dirk make his return, and then we get genuinely one of the craziest prosthetics in cinema history. God. Because I refuse to believe that I don't think it was real. I think it was a prosthetic.
It is fake.
So. Final shot of the movie. Dirk is back in the dressing room, getting ready to shoot his first porno back. like his first one since he's really like gotten better, and he stands up in these white pants and just drops out this massive 13-inch hog, dude.
Huge.
Just, and you're just like, damn, there it is. It's like seeing the shark in Jaws, because it's like the entire movie you see everybody's reaction to this, and everybody's like, god damn. And at the end of the movie, he just drops it out, and you're like, god damn is right. That is massive. It's insane. It's insane.
This one movie TikToker I follow.
Yeah.
His review for this was 5 stars. I would have been super mad if we didn't get to see his dick.
For real, dude. They're like teasing it the whole movie, and you're like, I kind of want to see it.
It's got to be that big. And
dude.
That big.
And it is that big. Awesome. And that's the end of the movie. Peak cinema.
It's 5 stars. It's
screw you, Mark Wahlberg. He's recently said in an interview that this is the one movie he regrets making.
That's crazy.
That's insane.
That's
insane. Oh, easily. Yeah, peak cinema, 5 out of 5 stars. You need to watch this. It's amazing. It's so good.
As we go through Paul Thomas Anderson's filmography, I would not be surprised if this stays towards #1 for a while.
Yeah.
I mean, I need to rewatch Magnolia, but this and Magnolia are going to be very close. It's peak.
I can see Magnolia going up on a rewatch. I have it at a 4.5 right now.
I cannot wait to rewatch Boogie Nights. I think this will only get better on rewatch. I adore this movie. It is hysterical and heartbreaking, and it's so entertaining. I cannot emphasize this enough. This movie is so entertaining. Don't be intimidated by the runtime. It's a long movie. It blazes past, and it is just so good.
Yeah, it is, truly. Yeah, that's our review. That's our first episode. We spent a lot more time on Boogie Nights than we did on Hard 8. That's our reviews of our first episode for the Paul Thomas Anderson Director Deep Dive. Before we get into some of the stuff we've been watching recently, yeah, give us a follow. Nope. Sorry, I'm still thinking about Mark Wahlberg's massive hog. Subscribe, comment down below what your thoughts on Boogie Nights are, if you like it, if you don't like it, which would be insane.
It's not a 3.5, it's a 5.
What is?
Cash has Boogie Nights at a 3.5.
Yeah, that's insane. That is illness at its finest.
Yep.
Yeah, so Tuesday we'll be coming at you with another IMDb episode. Yeah, we're doing Jaws and How to Train Your Dragon. Heater episode coming towards you. Friday, we will be doing Mary and Max and Monsters, Inc. And next Friday is Magnolia and Punch Drunk Love, and then Mary and Max and Monsters, Inc. And then our third PTA episode will be, give me a sec, break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar. It will be, peak episode. There Will Be Blood and the Master.
Oh my god.
What an episode.
It's going to be longer than the Oppenheimer episode. Oh my god. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I can't.
So go check those out. We'll be coming at you with those soon. And it's going to be a blast. Please stick with us. So now we are going to get into what we have been watching this week. Evan, how many do you have? I don't have too many, or as many as I usually do, because I've been binging The Leftovers.
I only have 4, and 2 of them are the same movie, and one of them is Hard 8, and one of them is Boogie Nights.
So you realistically only have 2?
I just have 1.
You have 1 movie to talk about.
Okay, so I watched Boogie Nights, Hard 8, and then I watched Bo Burnham's Inside twice since Wednesday.
Shit, man.
I've been binging so...
Alright, why don't you just do yours first, and then I'll just fly through mine.
Yeah, let me just talk. I've talked about Bo Burnham's Inside many times. The Real Talk boys are reviewing this today. It's flawless. I showed my girlfriend the first like half of it, but then it was a bit too heavy, so we turned it off. And I finished later, and then I rewatched it again yesterday, and it's just a masterpiece. It's hysterical. I don't understand Oscar Ryan Allen. You guys are ill. This is hilarious for the first half. It's insightful on the state of the world, the economy, politics, and mental health. It is such a insightful and deep look at mental health and isolation and all of this. I think it's a pure masterpiece. It's one of the best pieces of media of all time. I will watch it forever. I think it's amazing. Shout out to Rocco, who also adores this. It's just amazing. I can't praise it enough. I'll probably watch it again before next week's episode. Yeah, it's amazing. So, yeah, why don't you just start rattling them off? You've been going hard on Shudder. You're going to go hard on Shudder, eh?
Yeah, there 4 of these are Shudder exclusives.
I have a really good Shudder movie to recommend you. I think I've told you about it before.
It's probably on my watch list because when I downloaded Shudder, I found a list of all the Shudder exclusives and then just added them all to my watch list.
Do your first one while I figure out what the name of it is, because I keep forgetting.
Okay, so I watched this movie called The Power. It was okay. I mean, once you've seen like one haunted building demons movie, like Ghost, right, you've seen them all. But this one was cool. I'd recommend it. I rewatched Arrival because my cousin came over and I was like telling her about Tenet when we were walking to the store to get snacks. And I was like, yeah, it's one that you don't really want to think about it while you're watching it. You just got to feel it and experience it. And she's like, that's perfect. That's like that's how I go in every movie. I just try to feel it and experience it. And then I figured out Tenet wasn't streaming, and I spent all my money at the store getting snacks. So we watched Arrival. I debated, I mean, it's still peak, makes me cry every time. 5 stars. But I debated telling her that it gets emotional, so she should be prepared to cry, but I didn't end up doing it, and she was very glad I didn't. She was sobbing by the end.
Yeah.
I mean, as we all are.
Yeah. This movie makes me fucking sob. And I have a hard time crying these days, and I just watched this and it made me sob.
Yeah. Then after that, I watched this movie with Teresa Palmer called The Twin, which was okay. Kind of had similar vibes to what's that movie called? Goodnight Mommy, I think it's called.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you ever seen that?
Yeah, I've seen it. Saw it in theaters twice.
Which one? The German one or the
German one. I saw the German one in theaters.
Yeah, this had very similar vibes to that. But it was cool. Yeah, I'd recommend it. It was solid. Teresa Palmer gives a solid performance. Then I rewatched one of my top 5 comedies of all time, Tommy Boy. Chris Farley, man. Taken from us too soon.
Yeah. This was one of the first comedies I've ever seen in my entire life, and when I first watched it as a kid, I said the word shnikes for years.
Yeah. I bet she's dating one of the Yankees.
Oh my god, I need to rewatch it. It is so funny.
Chris Farley is a national treasure, and people talk about a lot that people get kind of their hype gets blown out of proportion and their talent gets blown out of proportion after they die, like a early and tragic death. That's not what is happening with, like, that's not what has happened with Chris Farley. Chris Farley is genuinely one of the funniest people to ever walk this earth.
His bit on SNL with the van down by the river is one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my entire life.
You're gonna be doing a lot of doobie rolling, living in a van down by the river.
It's so funny.
Yeah, I used to know. Me and my buddy Levi used to know that entire sketch by heart.
I love that.
But yeah, peak peak cinema. Chris Farley is so excellent. If you haven't watched Tommy Boy, get on it. David Spade and Chris Farley together are like the duo. They just are so good together. After that, watch Boogie Nights. Already talked about it. This is coming on to my last two because I've been watching, as I said, a lot of The Leftovers. Evan got me turned on to watch The Leftovers.
Best show ever made.
Because he's going to watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I will.
And that's been excellent so far. It's peak. But yeah, I watched another Shudder original called Quicksand. It's about this like couple who is getting a divorce, and they're in Brazil, like right after they or Colombia, right after they decide they want to split up, and they go on a hike together, and they get stuck in quicksand. So it's kind of like a man versus nature. There's snakes, there's ants.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
When you, from now to when you were a kid, did you also think that quicksand would be a bigger danger in your life?
Oh, 1,000%. Yeah. And anvils falling from the sky.
Oh my god, dude! I learned about quicksand and I was like, I'm gonna die to quicksand.
For real, dude.
Yeah.
But luckily, if I ever do get stuck in quicksand, because of how much I knew about it when I was a kid, I will be okay. Yeah. You get stuck in quicksand, you just don't move. Don't move.
I see people jumping on quicksand, and I'm like, you're begging to die.
Yeah, and there's this one scene in the movie where the wife gets frustrated that she's in the quicksand, so she starts doing this. Oh, and God. I'm like, what are you doing? Have you ever watched Roadrunner ever?
What is this movie called again?
Quicksand. It's literally called Quicksand. And then this morning...
I need to double feature Quicksand with the Pepto-Bismol movie.
Night's End.
Yeah.
Bro drinking unheard of amount of Pepto-Bismol in that movie.
I'm not gonna lie to you, Trey. I woke up on Thursday morning and I had some crazy dreams the night before.
Yeah.
I genuinely couldn't remember if I made that up in my head because it's so fucking weird. I legit was like, is that a real movie? And I started going through your letterbox and I was like, okay, I remember it had Michael Shannon in it, and then I found it, and I was like, wait, that's a real movie. Okay, I need to watch it ASAP.
It truly is like the Michael Shannon jump scare.
I will be
and then this morning, I watched this one called The Unheard. Has a 2.7 overall in Letterboxd, which I don't understand. I really, really liked this. Kind of a slower burn, like supernatural horror. Chloe Graydon undergoes an experimental procedure to restore her hearing. Soon she begins to suffer from auditory hallucinations related to the disappearance of her mother. It's a bit long, drags in a few points, it's about 2 hours, but it's definitely worth a watch. I really, really enjoyed it. Definitely worth a watch, for sure. And that's all I have.
I have two recommendations. I found the name of that one that I want to tell you about. It's called We Are Still Here. Put it at the top of your watch list. It is such a fun, dark comedy. It's very dark for the first bit, and then it's like, I think I told you before, it's like Sam Raimi type horror for the last act.
Yeah, it's on my watch list.
It's a blast. The other one, it's called Clock, and it's on Disney Plus or Hulu. It's insane.
2023?
Yeah. It's really weird, and
this sounds sick.
It's actually pretty decent. I think I have it at a 3.5.
Oh, Melora Hardin is in it.
Yeah, it's actually good. The blonde girl from Glee is the main character.
I've never watched Glee.
It's definitely worth a watch. It's cool. It's cool.
But yeah, that's all we have for you today. We said earlier what episodes are coming, so if you forgot, just rewind. I don't want to say it again. If you want to follow us on our socials, I've been super active on TikTok recently. I post movie reviews of every single movie I watch. I'm Trey the Film Noob everywhere. Not N-U-N-E-W-B, but N-O-O-B. I think a lot of people get that confused. And Evan is Evan0567, capital E, capital O, on Letterboxd.
Please watch Boogie Nights if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, go watch Boogie Nights,
It's
man.
so good.
Just have a blast.
Insane.
Get the homies over to see Dirk Diggler's massive hog.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for joining us today. It was a blast. We'll see you next time.
See you on Tuesday.